Bhakti yoga, or the yoga of love, or yoga of selfless love, or yoga of devotion, then it is said that one has to love God. So now that's where everybody, not everybody, but many people stumble, right there. How can I love God? God seems to be so far away, so vague, and then and I'm needing somebody to love me, and I need somebody so I can love in real life, not just love of God and bow to the deities and the statues. They don't answer back, give them a little orange, and they don't say thank you, and then how can I do this and what it gives me anything, so we cannot feel fulfillment through this divine kind of connection. So it is said that you would have to practice it until you feel it, but you cannot practice it, by following somebody saying that you must do. You have to practice it. That's the key. You have to practice it, but starting from yourself. And that is something not to overlook. That means you have to find it, that God is dwelling within you. So you have to create that connection, that conscious connection with that divinity that starts first from yourself. That means from inside out. Love of God is not from outside in. It starts first from inside out. That means from connection with that divinity that is dwelling right within you. And then you can say, okay, but I don't feel it all the time, Sometimes I, in my most dangerous time, then I know how to pray. My boat is going to sink, so I pray. Whatever name of God, at that time I just remember whatever name. I just pray to whatever. See, so we do have that. But then we function in our daily life and we forget. And we see names and forms and things and then we forget about that. So it is said that you would have to find it within you, and then you would have to see it outside in a symbolic form, so that it's easier for you to practice and to keep remembering that which is within, so that you can eventually find that which is within also is outside, and that which is within, in fact, is everywhere. Okay? So step by step, you have to do slowly. So to get to see, like Sri Krishna said, to see the self abiding in all beings and all beings abiding in oneself, or to see God in all beings and all beings in oneself, is an advanced stage. Okay? It's something that you need to think about and practice until then, but it's not as easy. So that's why in Bhakti Yoga there are different steps that you need to take. It's like you cannot really learn how to dance unless you learn the dance steps first. You cannot write poetry unless you learn the alphabet first. So you don't do advanced asanas unless you learn very well the basic asanas first. So in devotion or in love, pure love, you would have to do some basic steps, which is the soul searching to find that divinity within you. And then you have to practice. So these are the different modes of bhakti. I don't know, we have time to go through this. I'm going to go through this quickly, so you know it's a concrete. So the Bhakti Yoga science is quite a science, how to transform the emotions that we have into pure love. Okay? So first you would, and then you would try to include this topic of relationship also in this practice of increasing pure love within you. So first, it is said the easiest is to listening to inspiring divine stories. Apply in relationship, then you have to develop the capacity to listen to others without judgment. You know how it is in our normal relationship. We like to talk, other people like to talk, nobody like to listen. So when you listen to dialogue, this person talk, the other person talk, nobody listen to nobody. So the idea is you would have to learn to listen without judgment. And when you talk with others, you would have to learn to be honest about yourself. That means not talking in order to get something or in order to forge an idea about yourself so the person buy into it to get to whatever that you want from that relationship. So that already will create problem. So you would need to be frank and honest and open, yeah, as if you are talking to God. So when you come to a place of worship, for example, usually we bow, and what that means, we bow, that means I am here in front of you. In some temples, they have these two guardians in front of temple before you can get to the God in the temple. One, it has a gesture like this. One guard like this, and one guard a gesture like this. That means what? The two guardians of the temple say, you cannot get to God. Pay attention. This finger like this means, watch out. Drop it. I mean, drop all these thoughts that you have in mind, all your, the ego idea that you obsess with every day, drop it. Pay attention. And then you say, okay, now come in. Invite you in. Like this. So the same. If you want to see divinity in others, you have to let go of your preconceived idea about yourself and about others. And then you have to open. 2, sing God's glories. So like we do kirtan, but how do you apply in daily life? So learn to praise others, to see the good in others. Not to praise in order for you to get something, again, here, but to see the good in others, to see the good quality. Instead of our mind all the time try to see the faults in others, so we can feel better about ourselves. So to look for their positive qualities, and also to be able to be appreciative of one's own good quality. Okay? So in the relationship with others, you are mirroring each other. The self in the other, or God in the other, is looking at you. And it's mirroring each other. Okay? So you look for the good qualities in others. Imagine others look for the good qualities in you. Each person remember is appreciative and have the self-love and see the good qualities in oneself. It's not like you see the good qualities in others and then you see bad thing in yourself. It's not like that. You need to apply both. I mean, you see, you uplift others by your vision, and you uplift yourself from seeing yourself, good qualities. 3 is remembrance of His name and presence in prayers. So that means how to bring the presence back of God. So apply in relationship, you can say, to learn to hold people that you love in your heart in a prayerful mood. That means you offer this relationship, basking this relationship that you have in the divine love. You quote that in the divine love. So then you remember the love of the other person, but in the light of God. You feel the sacredness in relationships. So nothing is for granted. See, the problem in relationship is that you think that it is for granted. The moment that you make a contract, and that's it. You don't have to, you don't have to care anymore. At that time, you think that the person will be there for you, and you don't have to care for it. So it's not like that. So you would have to be grateful for all people who you interact with in your life. So watch out for our kind of selfish attitude. When we want something, we go to people and then you say things and you get the relationship and you dump it. And you go to somebody else according to what you like and what you fantasize, and then you would do things in order to get the relationship and then you dump it. Okay? That's not the right way. That is called mercenary love. So you would have to be grateful to everybody you come in contact with. You don't have to necessarily even talk to them, but you have to acknowledge them in your heart. Practice of gratefulness. So remember His name and presence. You have to be forgiving, detached and forgiving. That means, oftentimes you remember people because they hurt us. Some kind of grunt or resentment. So the moment that you think of that person, you think of the old resentment. Imagine. So you remember the toxic moment, but you don't remember God. So who is hurting? Yeah. So it is said that you would have to forgive. And you will have to forgive right away, on the spot. The more that you'll be able to do it fast. In the interaction with people, there will be, that's the way how you learn, and there will be frictions and conflict. 100% sure. Yeah? Because nobody's a saint. So therefore, ego will be friction against ego, so that the divinity can come out. Yeah? So you would have to learn to forgive. And don't hold to your own opinion. Swami Sitaramananda always said like that. He said that the truth is in between both. When two people quarrel, yeah, and I'm right, you wrong, I'm right, you wrong, like this, and never ending, and Swamiji say, the truth is in between both. That means nobody is right. So we have to back down our ego and our idea, no matter what. Otherwise, we're blind. Instead of back down, you would crank up. And then you create war and wall. And then you reject people. Is it not? You close off. Relationship might come to an end, if there is nothing there. See? So then you return it. You see the way how to end? You return it to God. It's not like you bring the wall up, you close off, you reject, and then that person would just, you think you throw it to the dog, or you would, you don't want to think about it or to revisit that place because it brings a lot of, kind of stuff in your mind. It's not like that. You have to enter in relationship gracefully, seeing the divine, and you have to get out relationship gracefully, returning that relationship to God. Okay, offering it to God, and it's returned back. So it's still with you, yeah, but not in an active form because you already have the peace with it. You already know it to be yourself. You already learned that lesson from it. So it's fine. Yeah, it's still with you, not in active form. But you cannot reject it. Because if you reject it with ego, you see that it will sit there. It will come back to haunt you in another day, another form. Feel fulfillment through this divine kind of connection. So it is said that you would have to practice it until you feel it, but bow to the deities and the statues, they don't answer back, Give them little orange, and they don't say thank you. And then, how can I do this and what it gives me, anything, So we cannot, bhakti yoga, or the yoga of love, or yoga of selfless love, or yoga of devotion, then it is said that one has to love God. So now that's where everybody, not everybody, but many people stumble right there. How can I love God? You cannot practice it, by following somebody saying that you must do. You have to practice it. That's the key. You have to practice it, but starting from yourself. And that is, God seems to be so far away, so vague, and then and I'm needing somebody to love me, and I need somebody so I can love in real life, not just love of God and